Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 262 of our trek, and yesterday we discovered the 5 refreshing benefits of rest. I am striving to implement these benefits into my life also. Today we want to continue on the path of learning as we focus on what we can learn from children. If you do miss any of the days of our Wisdom Trek episodes, please go to wisdom-trek.com to listen to them and to read the daily journal. We are recording our podcast from our studios at home too in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had a great working visit in Mesa, Arizona with our friends and partners Charles and Allison Meekum reviewing the Arizona construction project this past weekend. The flights and the travel were uneventful, which is very good. The project is coming along well, and the execution is starting to flow smoothly. We are back in Charlotte for this week before heading to the big house in Marietta on Friday evening. We have a special treat this time of taking our grandson Kip with us on this trip. It should be an interesting and fun time as we are in the midst of renovation of the big house. Hopefully, he will want to assist. He usually has ideas and you never know what we might learn from him. And that brings us to our hike for today as we hit the trail to learn 4 things that you can learn from your child. Being an adult can be difficult. We need to be genuinely disciplined, which requires you to develop the ability to take action. You don't need to be too hasty or frantic though, but you also don't want to waste much time. Don't allow yourself to become overwhelmed by things or events that may never take place. You should look at life simplistically without being simple-minded. You can only control yourself and very few other situations, so there's no sense about fretting over the rest. As we consider our trail for today, let's keep in mind the innocence of children and the words that Jesus spoke in Mark chapter 10, verses 13 through 16. And it reads like this. One day some parents brought their children to Jesus so he could touch them and bless them. But the disciples scolded the parents for bothering him. When Jesus saw what was happening, he was angry with his disciples, and he said, "Let the little children come to me. Don't stop them, for the kingdom of God belongs to those who are like these children. I tell you the truth, anyone who doesn't receive the kingdom of God like a child will never enter it." Then he took the children in his arms and placed his hands on their heads and blessed them. This is a major consideration for us as adults, isn't it? Just think about what Jesus said and did. We need to be like these children and remember that there are 4 ways that we can be more like a child no matter how old that you get. The first way is curiosity. Be curious. Embrace childish curiosity. Think about this. What will kids do if they want to know something bad enough? You're right. They'll bug you. Kids will ask millions of questions. You think that they're through, and they've got a million more. They'll keep plaguing you. They can drive you right to the brink. Kids use their curiosity to learn. Have you ever noticed while adults are stepping on ants, children are studying them intensely? A child's curiosity is what helps them to reach, to learn, and to grow. The second way we can learn from your child is excitement. Learn to get excited like a child. There's nothing that has more magic than childish excitement. So excited that you hate to go to bed at night, that you can't wait to get up in the morning and you're about to explode. How can anyone resist this kind of childish magic? Now once in a while, I'll meet someone who says, "Well, I'm a little bit too mature for this childish excitement." Isn't that pitiful? You've got to weep for these kind of people. And what I have to say about this is, if you're too old to get excited, you're just too old. Don't let yourself get that old. The third way we can learn from children is to have faith. Faith is childish. How else could you describe it? Some people will say, "Let's be an adult about this." Oh no, I don't think so. Adults too often have the tendency to be overly skeptical. Some adults even have the tendency to be cynical. Adults say, "Well, I'm too logical to believe that there is a God who created everything. There's just too much scientific proof to the contrary." See, that is what an adult would say. But kids aren't that way. They look at the world and everything around them and say, "How could there not be a God who created all the things from the tiniest bug to the tallest mountain, from the smallest snowflake to the stars that span the sky? How could you consider these without knowing that there is a great God that created all things, including me?" Adults have a tendency to fall into the category of Romans chapter 1 verse 18, where the Apostle Paul writes, "For God showed his anger from heaven against all sinful wicked people who suppress the truth by their wickedness." While children will believe Romans chapter 1 verses 19 and 20. They know the truth about God because he has made it obvious to them. For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and the sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see His invisible qualities, His eternal power, and divine nature, so they have no excuse for not knowing God. And the fourth way we can learn from a child is to have trust. Trust is a childish virtue, but it has great merit. Have you ever heard the expression, sleep like a baby? That's it, childish trust. We need to have the same trust in God. When we do, we have no need to fear anything in life. As Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 and 6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all that you do, and He will show you which path to take. Curiosity, excitement, faith, and trust. That's a powerful combination to bring back into our lives. Let me ask you this question. Can you become like a child again? If you implant curiosity, excitement, faith, and trust into your life, you will see the world through new eyes. If you do this, regardless of your physical age, you will be forever young. Tomorrow on our trek, we will explore the 7 principles of an eagle. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. And that'll finish our podcast for today. As you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, I encourage you to help us to promote Wisdom Trek in the following 4 ways. First, leave us feedback about the podcast at wisdom-trek.com so that we can continually improve. Second, on your smartphone, subscribe to iTunes, Google, Spreaker, SoundCloud, or Stitcher so that the podcast will be downloaded to you automatically each day. Third, on your computer, or if you have an iPhone or iPad, leave us a rating and review at iTunes. This will help to spread the word about Wisdom Trek so that others can join us. And fourth, most importantly, please share Wisdom Trek with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person as you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. The journal for today's trek can be found at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, you are my friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.